Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and I'm back again really soon. I'm talking about the gang stalking, how they do this. Something that keeps coming up. Today is the 27th of July 2026. And I believe that the way they do this, by the way, the main way is to locate you through aerials, okay, and TVs. So when you switch on an appliance, they put on an adapter, normally on the cable or internally inside the machine. It's a barrel. It's basically, I'll put a photo of it so you can see what it looks like, okay, when it's on the wiring, because sometimes they'll put it on the wire. But there's also other aerial types, which is just a long piece of black, it's like rock, and this is an aerial, but you also get it in a barrel shape, and they put this over the wiring, normally on chargers or inside the connector. So like on my old TV that I took apart, this TV was really old, and inside was the compartment of a little box that the wiring plugged into, so you could plug the TV in and out, right? And I took this out and I kept it because I thought I'll just have a look at the inner workings of it. It could be useful for something. Because I plan on building things. But anyway, today I thought I'm just going to take it apart. And I did. And it's got a QR code inside it. Again, a sticker. So QR codes didn't exist in 2005 when this TV was made. Massive TV, really heavy. Those TVs were really expensive, and you didn't have QR codes. Now, I'll probably head this up, QR codes and aerials. So what they do is they put a QR code, which I think has got nano in the ink, or graphene. Then the black thing they put in the wiring somewhere. I found this in lights. I found it, I think, in lights. I think I've also found it in a liquidizer type thing. And also I found it in normally radio type of equipment, TV now. And I've always wondered, how do they know what I'm doing, you know? Because they've created a network which connects to my home, but they still got to know what I'm doing. And the way they would do this is with aerial. So 5G is on frequency, which is a bandwidth which is similar to FM. Okay, just so you know. So this is airwaves. So Satan, the devil, is the king of the air. So, you know, it's what's on air today, you know. I used to work in radio. You're listening to the airwaves. So, king of the air has taken control of all aerials. This is to coordinate the attack. The 5G towers operate through radio. 5G radio frequencies, which are the same frequencies as microwave. So this is remote wiring and remote connectivity through networking and radio and aerials and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and lights and the grid and smart meters. And batteries. Batteries are included in this mess as well. Certain things happen in my home. I can have little battery fairy lights. They can be on the wall and they flicker as well. So something's running that's dragging the current out of the batteries. They can locate things through batteries. I don't know exactly. But if you think about it, we don't really know about this technology. So I was just taking this plug piece apart for the TV, as I was smashing it apart with a hammer, I thought, wow, look at this massive amount of copper coiling around these plastic things. And then I found out these aerials inside. Now, when I took a radio apart, in there was aerial. And what does it have? Little tiny copper wire wrapped around it. So this is this was on the actual TV unit, on the plug that you insert the wiring into, right? And this was a fat plug piece that goes into the back of the TV. It's not a 2-prong. It's a 3-prong fat plug piece that goes into the back of a TV. All right. And it's that piece that was inside the TV that had this box, and inside there were 2 coil things and aerials inside. So TVs are the main thing, and they're used to watch you. Now, as I was saying, as I was smashing this apart and I was talking to God, I was smashing it apart and I said to God, we're using all this technology and we don't really understand it. We don't really know how it works. And I feel a bit of a fool to talk about it because I'm not skilled or trained in engineering or electronics or electrics. But the things I've learned, I can tell you, that are, even from my very basic level of understanding, they are using wiring and devices to modify equipment. So they put on these barrels to locate you, normally through radios, frequency, things that emit frequencies, and then also in TVs. So for example, my JBL speaker, the charger stopped working properly, and my daughter had used it and given it back. So then she said, I feel so bad. She said, I bought you a new one. She gave me this new JBL charger and there was no barrel thing attached to it. And I used it and everything was fine. In fact, it was great. And I think it's because it didn't have a barrel thing. And next time I went to charge the JBL, there was now a barrel thing on the wiring. Now, in the office, I had a printer and I had a wire and I had a little barrel thing. But I could buy these printer wires without the barrel, normally. And the barrel things seem to be special things that they put on the wiring. So look out for the barrels on your wiring, okay? I have a little plug-in speaker that plugs into the audio jack, which I can stand my phone on, which I like because I don't want to use Bluetooth speakers all the time. And I bought it and I use it to stand my phone on, and I also use it sometimes to amplify the sound, and I really like it. And this is also where I found 2 audio jacks which convert from the charging port on an iPhone to a jack that you can use in a speaker. And I found a secondary one of those, and I only ever had one. So I know people are bringing things in my home and changing things. As I've already talked about, this happens, right? And so this little speaker, when I bought it, it didn't have a barrel on the charging wire, but now it's got a barrel, and it's not just a small barrel. It's a large fucking barrel. And every time I use the speaker now, everything gets hacked. So I can only tell you my experiences, okay? Every time I use certain appliances in my home, I have problems. Fridge, washing machine, coffee maker, and it used to be the microwave as well. speakers, TV, anything actually in my house. I think they've modified everything. I think they've modified the wiring. I think they've modified the electric box. They certainly did at my old house. They took away the safety switch so that, if you electrocute yourself, it doesn't power off. It seems they've done the same here, because I electrocuted myself on the plug of an item where the wiring had come loose. And I stood here being electrocuted for 10 minutes. I pulled my hand away. And I thought, but the power didn't go out. My cooker has caught fire. I've also had plugs explode when they're not even switched on. So I think that someone's definitely done the same adaptions. But I think it's something they can switch on and off. They're also able to switch on and off the independent plug sockets so that they don't work. And they can also switch things on and off whether they're plugged in or not. As I've already shown you videos of things that unplug that are still on and remain on sometimes for 5 minutes. This is wireless electricity. This is technology we don't understand. Like I was saying to God, we're using all this technology. We don't really understand it. I'm not an electrical engineer, and I don't claim to be. I don't claim to be a specialist in this technology at all. But I can tell you that I have the Lord with me. And I've noticed these common denominators of things that I have problems with, and they always have the same symptoms and the same markers, which is the barrels. So what annoys me the most is the fact that I have to go to the expense of buying another charger for my JBL. And what they also do on the JBL speaker charger, it's got a little box on it, and they put stuff inside that little box charger to amplify the electricity. And I think it's like wireless electricity and wireless Wi-Fi and wireless Bluetooth, so they can connect up to the device. And I've noticed that I get headaches from the charger of the JBL, as well as the JBL speaker itself. And then I have to reset the speaker. I have to put the speaker in a Faraday bag and the chargers. So there's certain chargers I just have problems with. Mostly JBL speakers. Like, I used my JBL speaker after I'd reset it. It was fine. Then it ran out of battery, so I charged the thing. And as soon as I put this thing into the plug to charge it, I was hacked. Okay, I'm not imagining this. Coffee went down the wrong way. So, all I can do is talk about my experiences. These things may help others. I believe that they adapt and change all plugs. Extension leads. I have an extension lead that I've had a long time. And anyway, this one, it's one that's a round thing. And I think it's got 2 plugs on the front, or 4. And then a cable about 5 meters long. And normally you'd wind the thing up. Well, the thing's come off its roller. And it falls out of the plastic case. And it's very frustrating. And I only very rarely use it when I'm desperate. And I think that's one that they got to. Because as soon as I use that, I have problems. I had a extension lead in one part of the house, and I had to use it for some work for the builder. And then I noticed I got bum ache, neck ache, and all the other things. So I thought, I bet you they've done something to this extension lead, or they've plugged something into it, like the washing machine or whatever, and they've convinced the washing machine that the power comes from that extension lead. And these are the things I'm finding. So if I plug in something into the plug socket, like the washing machine, I can't use the washing machine plug that is allocated for the washing machine or the fridge one, Because as soon as I do, they're linked everything to whatever they're doing, and I'm getting radiated by the fridge and the washing machine. This is what I found. So now I charge use the different plugs and extension leads in the kitchen, and that keeps them at bay for a while until they've located which plug I'm using, and then they synchronize everything again. And the only thing I can do is just keep moving the plug over to different plugs, so they can't link everything through remotely. And then I plug in a phone charger. The other thing I've noticed is I've got battery packs for my phones, and they give me neck-ache, backache, and bum-ache as well. I've found that when certain people have visited, and if they've borrowed the battery pack to charge their phone, then I've got problems with my battery pack. It's almost like they've synchronized everything to that person's device because they're in everyone's device. So I actually have to put my battery packs in a Faraday box as well. And it's getting to the point where everything I own is going in Faraday boxes and bags and everything. And I've got certain plugs, like where the router is. The router itself isn't what's radiating me. It's the plug sockets. The readings from it are so high on EMF, they're dangerous. So I've got shielding up against those plugs, and then I've got another set of plugs where the plug exploded last Saturday, I think it was, with something that wasn't even switched on, and that's a sound frequency plug for insect repellent. And it wasn't switched on, and it was making a funny buzzing noise. And I thought, well, I'll just see what happens. And sure enough, the whole thing fucking exploded. And I thought, that could be a microwave. And the microwave could explode. And so I took the microwave apart this week and threw it away. For this reason. Because I don't actually feel safe with the electricity since my cooker has caught fire. I've also plugged things in and I can smell plastic burning on devices. Like there's just too much power going through. When I charge my phone, it gets so hot I could cook an egg. So they're obviously really, really trying to hack the phone and do things through the electrics. And I want to talk about this. I've got 2 plug sockets on the outside of my kitchen that face the back garden. And one of them gives me a sore bum. And the other one gives me problems with my feet, cooking of the feet. And then I've got another one. The cooker seems to be connected to because I've got a hob. The hob, if I leave that plugged in, then I have real problems with the house. So I never have it plugged in. And I've got a different thing for the cooker. A different switch on the main electrics for it. So, but I try not to run very much at the moment. I don't know quite what they're doing. But as soon as I switch my radio on, they're in everything. I go through different periods where I can't use the TV and I can't use the Bluetooth speaker and I can't use my phones and I can't use my number. And then I get pissed off with them and I just start using everything. Almost like it's competition. I'm going to go head to head with you fucking people because I'm tired of you taking control of all my items. So I'm going to put them all on. Which is what I did yesterday and I watched a film. But for example, I bought walkie-talkies. And the walkie-talkies have been changed. They've been changed inside so that they don't work. They don't connect. The signal bars aren't there. So I've basically bought walkie-talkies that now don't work. I've never really used them. I haven't even read up how to use them yet. I bought one for me and one for my daughter. And I haven't been able to use them. because I've been so busy with everything else, I haven't been able to study it, but it seems any radio I buy, or TV, or speaker, or Apple TV box, or kettle, or toaster, or liquidizer, or toasting machine, they modify and they put these barrel things inside, over the wiring, and they use it to locate what I'm using, and then they can synchronize it to the duplicate iPhone that they've copied. And because I understand that's how they do it. I've also got a laser light, which I purchased, and the battery inside, they made it so they're completely, it doesn't work. The other thing was, I had some batteries out of it, what was it? Out of something. And they're long battery things. There's 6 of them. And I took them out. And they still had charge. Even when I took them apart, they were, causing a spark with the pliers. I was trying to take the pieces off and disconnect it all. I thought, well, that's very interesting. But, yeah, I found that they are definitely making changes to the appliances. I can prove that with the photos I've just given you guys. The TV, the old TV from 2005, shouldn't have QR codes because we didn't have QR codes until very recently, a couple of years ago. The QR codes are to replace the barcode. So now the question is, did they put the QR code in, or have we had the QR code technology which is linked with 5G? It's all part of the same program. And have we had this for a while that we didn't know about? I wonder about it. When I took the TV apart, I wasn't looking for QR codes, but I don't think there was any QR codes. But yeah, they definitely are changing the wiring. I found that certain chargers I use for my phone, I have problems. So I've got a Samsung plug-in USB charger, and I have problems with that one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I always get hacked with it. Then there was an Apple iPad charger, which I always used to use. And then I noticed I was always being hacked with that. Then I had a modern iPhone charger plug, and that was great. It was such a fast charger. But every time, suddenly I found every time I used it, I was being hacked. Now, I don't know if you know, but you can connect to the internet through your iPhone through a USB. Did you know that? Did you know that? You can. And they can connect to any device in your home that connects through the plugs or through a USB. And then I would think also, with the battery packs, they can probably do something because it's got USBs. If you think about it, TVs have USBs and HDMIs. And apparently they can hack you through the HDMI. My TV's automatically emitting its Bluetooth signal, and people are always in my TV. They completely take over the whole network, even though my TV's not using the internet. I'm just using it as a screen. And so I want to let you know that every TV has little cameras inside to watch you in your house, right? Do you know that? And listen to you. And they're really hackable. So, but this is why I don't connect it to the internet. But they can get into the TV through the HDMI that's connected to an Apple TV box, which is connected through the Wi-Fi. So basically, I've got to segregate what connects to the internet and what doesn't, and I separate the networks to try and stop this. But like I say, it's the toilet, the drains, the water, and radios. I can't get a radio signal in my own house. When I try and play videos, I can't. My internet won't connect. And this is because of the duplicate 192.168.0.1 or 1.1, depending on who you're using. I've definitely got 2 of those. That's because there's another network running in my home, and I have a wire that goes through the outside wall, which they've made sure I can see where they've put it in. And I've got electrical signals coming from that bathroom when the electricity's off. And under my bed, there's no plug sockets under my bed. And I had no electricity working in my bedroom at one point. And just the light. And so I would put this electric tester on the ceiling, and it's picking up loads of electrical signals, even when the electricity is off. So I know that they're running something in my home. So I often switch off the power, and they actually run everything, even with the power off. I can't switch this stuff off. At my old house, I had the same problem before the electric box caught fire, because they're obviously running so much stuff that things catch fire, because it's dangerous, you know. Anyway, in this house, I switch off the power, and I just, I hope that nothing catches fire. I have had smoke come from the bathroom once. I didn't know why. I thought there's no point calling anyone. There's no point telling anyone. Because they'll probably find a reason to make out that I'm crazy. But when this caught fire, or whatever, there was smoke coming from the bathroom, the neighbours also had a fire alarm going off, and there was smoke coming from their place. And this would confirm that there must be some pipes or something connected to my house or something, electrics, that catches fire. I mean, I can smell melting plastic, all sorts of things. The other thing they love to do is put rusty screws in the plug sockets on purpose, so that you can't get the plug sockets off, because they've done something. Now, you've got a plug socket on the front, but on the back, there's also wiring. Okay? Then the wiring runs normally to the ceiling and connects to the lights, and all the wiring runs around the house like so, yeah? And so I believe that what they do is they actually gouge through the wall from next door to get to your wiring, to access your wiring. If you're in a new house, the walls are thin. I've heard them drilling against my wall. And where they were drilling is by the fireplace. And I get such radiation from the fireplace area now. And there's no fireplace there. But there is obviously a hole. So it's my belief that they put something in the fire, in the chimneys. So, this is, or they do something to connect to the wiring. And I've also had it where, in a part of my home that I showed you, the laser lights were hitting the light, just to the corner there, I could hear people talking, and there's no house there, as if they were in my home. It was so loud. And I thought, wow. And when I was outside, I could hear the water running from the bath into the drain, and it was so loud that it was almost like it was connected to a gramophone. The other thing is, I've had it where I've had no radio on in my house, but I can hear radio playing through the washing machine. And I also did an experiment with the bathroom. I put loads of magnets all over the toilet and the toilet pipes and the sinks and the bath and everything when I first moved to my property, because I knew the bathroom was the place. So I put the magnets all over the bathroom. And I was lying in bed, in a metal frame bed, And I could hear all the conversations taking place in the town. And I could also hear the radio, which was Riviera FM, playing. But when I got off the bed, I couldn't hear it. But I could hear it when I was lying on the bed through the metal pipes of the bed. And then I went over to the bathroom and I could hear them through the bathroom pipes as well. So I thought, well, the bathroom pipes must be connected under the bedroom, under the bed, somehow. So I got rid of the metal bed. So I thought, well, maybe it's acting like an aerial. A ginormous 4 square poster aerial. Makes sense to me. So, I don't know. But if you've got central heating that runs with water, they've probably modified the water on that as well. And if you've got copper pipes, they will have come and taken out the copper pipes and put in plastic pipes. Because copper protects you from radiation and cleans the water. So whoever's doing this, it's very proactive. Like I say, they've got professionals they hire. This is a professional organization. The gang stalking operation is a professional company type operation. And they have full-time workers doing this to multiple victims. This is a very serious crime and it's happening to a lot of people. And also now, people are doing videos about the targeted individuals saying that they believe the targeted individuals. Now that they know the truth about the world, they're starting to believe the targeted individuals are being targeted. So this is good news. Also, when I was out in town talking about targeting, everyone I spoke to, just about everyone, knew what a targeted individual was. But they don't always know exactly the extent of what it entails to be a targeted individual and the levels of attack and harassment and torture that happens to the victims. Yeah. And I'm just tired of it. Social services have been caught doing this stuff. All the leaders are introverted. They're eating people. And if you don't know that, you need to fucking wake up to it, right? It's happening. And they put this technology in to kill everyone. It doesn't matter if you hate me. Doesn't. You need to know this is happening. And everybody's phone is kitted out with all the same as mine. Pretty much. Except you're not on the list yet. If you're not targeted. You've got the home app, you've got fitness, focus, translate. You've got, there's sound recognition, which is another one. I've got a thing with field test, which is, looks like an aerial and some blue lines. I've looked for field test as an app, can't find it. But it's on all my phones, field test. I can't get rid of it. Doesn't show up on the App Store. Doesn't show up on the iCloud as an app that's on my phone. But this app is on my phone. Field test. And I believe that's the one that they use on the phone. And like I say, they can do everything remotely. So if you are an enemy or you start speaking the truth or you don't like anything to do with what's going on in the world, or you ask questions, you can expect this to happen to you. There's a lot of people who are targeted and they don't even know that they're targeted. These laser lights that they point at you, they penetrate your wall and then hit the target. They like to come through the windows and they will actively dig drains around your home. And this is so that they can run the wireless electricity. I think that must be what it is. They're definitely putting things in the toilets, and slugs. If you're under this attack, you'll have loads of slugs all around the house. I've also found the recent thing, because it's flies normally, so I've got fly nets in certain places. Fly nets are brilliant because it stops the nano. Blackout window tinting also stops a lot of the radiation. But if it's not flies, they will give the animals fleas to bite you, or they'll put stuff in your bed to bite you. Or they'll put moths, or mosquitoes, and spiders. All the little creepy crawlies, and you'll have lots of mold. Your walls will crumble from the mold. Radiation, whatever they use, disintegrates walls and causes them to go damp. Why? How? Well, how does a microwave work? If you put a person inside the microwave for a minute, they'd probably still be alive, but they probably wouldn't function very well. If I put a brick in the microwave, it probably works still, but it'd probably be brittle. I've noticed that the plastic things like switches on the plugs, they become very brittle very quickly, and I think that's because of the radiation. I also noticed that screws and things like this become very rusty. I think this is through radiation. It's aging. It's a technology to age whatever it encompasses and counters. Also, there was a washing machine pipe that was full with black sludge, and it smelled like sulfur. It was really thick, and if someone had put the stuff into the washing machine pipe, there's nothing else that goes in there, right? Just washing machine water, and full of black stuff, and so the water would just spew out, and had to clear it. And it was so gross it was. I found if the washing machine's connected to the drainage, then they get somehow into the washing machine through nano, through the drains. And this is highly coordinated with the neighbours. I've got a mirror now that has to sit on top of the surface in my kitchen to face the neighbour, who's obviously pointing something at the house, or maybe it's the outside lights where I live that are doing it. But either way, there's lots of different ways they do this. Also, I've mentioned briefly last time that when I get the stuff off, there's a house alarm or business alarm that goes off, and it goes wee 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 wee. This is very similar to the frequencies of the radiation, by the way. Also, the fire alarms, I heard them yesterday on a really low frequency, because I can hear this stuff and really pinpoint what it is that's making that noise. Right, so I could hear it, but it wasn't on. So I pressed the button and I thought, yeah, that is the same sound. So it's on a much lower sound. Okay. And then the same with the lights. They are the same wiring as speakers. And they're using the lights as speakers and microphones. And that's how they can read the area. It's like a spy device. All the lights are the same for everyone. The other thing I want to point out, has anyone ever noticed that the seagulls sound like the police sirens? It is. It's just like the police sirens, but maybe just slightly slower pace. But I've noticed this. What are seagulls? They're a strange bird. They can eat anything. Kind of remind me of aliens. The seagulls are a protected species, apparently. Have you noticed that the Muslims have been capturing the seagulls to eat them. And we had this at an Indian restaurant in Torquay, and it got shut down, and it was on Torwood Street. And they used to have the restaurant below, and then above they had sort of 20 people all in bunk beds, all sleeping above the restaurant, sleeping in the same beds, rotating who was sleeping in the beds, and then working the restaurant. And they would take the seagulls and they'd cook them and eat them and serve them as food to the customers. And they got shut down some years ago. So, I don't know. Very interesting, don't you think? I think so. So slugs, spiders, all of those. If you want to get rid of slugs, salt. Salt works really well. And take on board what I've said. The other thing I've noticed is now I've got crystals that I normally use on the windows, on the handles to stop them opening the windows and coming in the house. The idea is if somebody comes in the window and they can force the window open, maybe they've got a special way of opening windows and doors, because I know they can do that, then at least the crystal will fall on the floor and they won't be able to exit the property very easily. Their only real entry point is the front door now. And I have a padlock on there as well. So I've done everything I can, but now they've started to use the crystals and point the lasers at the crystals so that they project beams all over and they home in on the crystals. So what I found actually is anything heavy like a pot of soil also works very well on window ledges and in sinks and in baths, because soil reduces the radiation. My bathroom, my toilet is like a radiation center. Anyway, my toilet was blocked yesterday. And I told you I'd got something, I put my hands in there to get whatever was out, because it was clean. I hadn't done a poo or anything, and it just wouldn't flush. And there was poo or something. It was like rubbery in the toilet. And when I go, I always flush it 4 or 5 times because I've had problems with this flusher. So there's no reason for anything to be up the toilet. And the other thing I noticed is between the cistern and where you flush, where the water comes down, this area got blocked. And so yesterday it wouldn't flush properly. So I got a knife and I shoved it up there. And all sorts of black stuff came out from the toilet inside. And there's no dirt in there. You don't poo inside the cistern. So what on earth that was, I don't know. But I thought they'd probably put some type of graphene maybe thing inside there. But I've told you also that I had a slug that landed on the back of my back near my bum. And where this thing was, it was stuck on my skin when I was on the toilet. And I felt this thing, got it off me. It was so slimy. I put it in the bin. I mean, stuff of horror films. And this whole area became so sore and infected, and I got ringworm. This is the stuff of horror films. This really is stuff of nightmares that's happening to me. You should know that. Any of the things that happen to me, if they happened to the gang stalkers, they wouldn't survive a day. They got no balls. I got more balls than any man in my tiny little finger, my little pinky. For sure. I'm not frightened of anyone. I'm just dying to get my hands on these guys. But yeah, you guarantee as soon as I get this stuff off, they've put on the alarms for local businesses, or the bells go on, or it's fireworks. One time the fireworks were so loud, and it wasn't a celebration time or any special event, that I actually thought we'd gone to war. And my cat also panicked as well. I nearly had a heart attack in the house. I went absolutely nuts. I had a massive breakdown and panic attack. I was frightened to leave the house. I really believed that we'd gone to war. It went on for a long time, and it was so heavy that I went up out of the house, and I went to the front door, looked on the main road. There was a couple of other people also looking out there, and I said, I think we've gone to war. I was worried about the neighbors, and I really believed that we were under attack and that those were bombs. It was a whole set of boom, 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 boom. Sounds just like bombs. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're at war. And I was so frightened. So, you know, that's the levels of stuff they do. Just to give you an idea. Fireworks is the regular. I'm not the only victim of this that suffers with the fireworks. Fireworks go off whenever I get the stuff off, and it happens with other victims the same. They've told me. I interview many victims, and we've all got the same story. Oh, your boiler, you can't switch on your boiler. No. Oh, okay. When you run the boiler, you get headaches, bum neck, yeah. Ringing in the ears. When you use the boiler, I've got certain rings on the hob, it won't work. My cooker's caught fire. Yeah, mine too. Really strange. You know, cookers shouldn't catch fire. This is fucking dangerous. So it happens to not just myself, but loads of victims. Their plug sockets explode. Their lights flash. So I can only just raise awareness and also raise what I believe causes it all. And these are the barrels. And I find them on all wiring. And I'll take photos today and upload them with this video. It's Ayesha from God FM. If you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple X, as well as TikTok and Telegram as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, God FM Group, and God FM Media. Also, sometimes you get the helicopters or the planes. It's all connected to the same. All right? Okay. Take care.